Noon, the meeting of the Finance Committee for February 26, 2026 is hereby called to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman at Large Keith Larson.
Here.
Alderman Dan Barrero.
Here.
Alderman Edward J. Bug.
Here.
Vice Chair Carl Franco.
Here.
And Chairman Masiakos is present.
Yes. Clerk, can you please read the approval of the minutes?
26-0119, approval of the minutes from the Finance Committee meeting held on February 12, 2026.
So moved. Second.
All right, a motion by Alderman Carl Franco, a second by Alderman Dan Barrero. I will recuse myself since I wasn't here. So all those in favor?
Aye.
So we have at least three, right? 3 votes? Three were here?
I believe even if you're not here, you can approve
We
the
can approve them?
minutes. I believe that's the
As
legal,
long as you read
legally
them.
you can
All
do
right,
that,
then.
so you're good to go.
All right, I'll take the advice of the vice chair. All right, so we're 5-0 on that then. Clerk, do we have any members of the public wishing to offer public comment?
No, we do not.
Okay. Can you please read the, oh, we do not, okay. Can you please read the first item on the agenda?
26-0003, an ordinance reserving 2026 volume cap in connection with private activity bond issues with related matters.
Good afternoon, Stacy Peterson, Chief Financial Officer, City Treasurer. What you have in front of you today is the ordinance reserving the 2026 private activity bond volume cap. This is something that we do every year. The IRS allows for bonds to be issued on a tax-free basis for certain private development activities. Some of these activities will potentially include public economic development. Usually it could be in the form of industrial development revenue bonds or single and or multiple family mortgage revenue bonds. The city must pass this ordinance to reserve the private activity bond limit. Each year, the state of Illinois issues a guideline that determines how much per resident we will receive. This year, it's at $135. That equates to approximately $24.4 million that we will reserve. That is based on the population from the state of Illinois' guidelines of 180,710, and the guideline is actually attached as a reference, and the population comes from the appendix, which is about page 21 of that document. Passage of this ordinance will allow the city the flexibility to utilize the volume cap in conjunction with any eligible projects that should arise in 2026. At this time, we recommend approval, and if you have any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. I'm sure we have some questions, at least from a couple of our aldermen here. Alderman Dan Barrero.
Ms. Peterson, so how do we do last year? Anybody take advantage of this? Do we ever max out?
I'd have to go back and double check. I don't recall any projects that
Do they have to
were
go
done
through
last year.
you? Do they have to inform the city that, does any entity have to inform the city that they're taking advantage of this?
With the volume cap, it goes to the state, let's see, it's the Illinois Finance Authority that allocates the volume cap.
So we're not involved? The city's
No,
not?
we have no obligation to pay, no financial
So
obligation to pay these
we don't
bonds.
approve it or anything like that? We're just giving our volume cap over, turning it over?
I do know in the past we did have, and this is years ago, it was single-family mortgage bonds that we would have items come to us for approval.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have a question?
So
Alderman
moved.
Franco. Got a motion to approve by
Second.
Alderman Franco, a second by Alderman Dan Barrero. If there are any further questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Peterson. Clerk, could you please read the next item? I think we're going into the held agenda.
26-0050, a resolution authorizing the extension of a lease with the Fox Valley Music Foundation for property at 19-21 Broadway.
Yes, last 2 meetings ago, I know it was held over in a meeting, I wasn't able to be here for personal family reason. I was out of state, but nonetheless, we held it because there wasn't enough information. Nobody here from staff that was able to answer any questions, and nobody was here from the venue either. So if we can just start from the beginning on this one at this point. Juncture, Dr. Caputo, thank you for coming back on this.
Yes, sir. We'll kind of circle back. Brian Caputo, Chief Operating Officer. So to start from the beginning, this is a proposal for a 5-year agreement extension, lease extension. The lease payment is tied to what would be taxes attributable to 19 through 21 South Broadway. The total amount being $1,185 for the equivalent of real estate taxes that would be paid to the city and to the East Aurora School District. It's kind of been a historical figure, as well as another $175 a year, what would be paid for SSA area, Special Service Area 1. The agreement is the reason it's coming back to the council is that it has a couple of provisions in it that are different from the original agreement. One is that when space is not used by the Fox Valley Music Foundation for performances or other events that they need the space for, the city could use the space, and also it ups the insurance a little bit, given the fact that it was at a very base level previously. So that's really the extent of the agreement. The reason that it's coming forward right now is that the foundation is intending to also, beyond excuse me, what I had mentioned, those 2 other points, the reason it's coming a year early, prior to the expiration of the current term, is that the foundation is going to be investing $55,000 to renovate restrooms in the facility. Our property, they're investing in the renovation. The money is coming from a few sources. They have a grant for approximately $30,000, and for the remaining $25,000 of the improvement, there's going to be a mixture of their own funds and philanthropy. I provided previously some information to the committee about the financials of the organization for the last few years. I think that covers most of what you were interested in, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
And there are representatives here from the foundation to speak to.
Wonderful. If one can come up at least and talk to us a little bit about the venue, where you're at in regards to your mission statement today, and also moving forward.
Yeah, sure, thanks.
don't mind.
So, yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for having us here today. My name's Christopher McHugh. I'm the board president of the Fox Valley Music Foundation, a 501c3 not-for-profit organization that operates the venue and has done so since 2019. Our mission is to preserve, promote, protect music in the Fox Valley area. And what that looks like from a day-to-day basis is largely educational type programs, making music more accessible for all of our community. For example, one of the things that we do with some regularity is a Monday afternoon matinee program for individuals with intellectual and physical disabilities, right? So we pack the room across the street over there with about 180 people. Sometimes it's the first time they've ever experienced music, and just to see the joy on their faces is just absolutely incredible. Some of the other things we do education-wise, every Tuesday night during the school year, we have a big band, the Pete Elman Big Band, professional big band, that comes in, and they bring along a high school from around Chicagoland. So on any given night during the school year, 32 weeks a year roughly. There's a different high school band opening up in a professional environment for that big band, getting to experience playing in front of friends, family, the public, something other than their high school gym. On any given year, we bring in about 17,000 people into downtown Aurora. The room is 190 seat capacity. We have music roughly 4 nights a week, although we're on a stretch right now where we have something every night of the week for about a 2.5-week period. And like I said, that results in about 17,000 people coming into the downtown area, taking advantage of the restaurants. What else can I tell you? We do a free show every first Friday, and those shows have been fantastic. I would say the last year or so, a number of them have been sold out. They're free to the community, but we have people registered to ensure that we're not exceeding our capacity. But those are well attended, usually at capacity or near that. I don't know, what else can I tell you? Do you have any specific questions?
Well, I'll tell you right now, you do have paying events, right? Paid events,
Oh, yes.
too.
The only events that are
You can't survive just based on...
right. No, the first
Pro
Fridays are
bono.
free. Pretty much everything else is a paid event. The ticket prices for the shows range anywhere from about $10 for those educational shows on Tuesday nights. We have a partnership with the Aurora Film Society. Those are $10 shows. Everything else is probably in the $20 to $35 range.
Okay, all right. And one of the things that I noticed in this proposal was that, and it was described to me that we're codifying what had been started with the previous administration, utilizing your space, the city utilizing your space. I just want to make sure and hear from you as well that you're comfortable with it. Sometimes people can feel that if the landlord wants something, especially when you're looking to improve and stick around, you made a big investment on your own as an organization, that you're compelled to do it just because, maybe twisting your arm, you have no choice, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Question is, do you have an opportunity to say no for whatever reason, if you're bored?
Yeah, my understanding is that I believe that we do, right? Because I think that we would be able to speak into what's going to go on in the building, and we would want it to at least be somewhat in alignment with what
Okay.
our mission is, right?
It's a little uncommon to have a clause for a landlord to say, hey, we want to use the space too.
Yeah.
So-
I don't believe it's something that we're uncomfortable with, Charlie. Is all right for Charlie to speak into it as well?
All right, well, it's good. It's good to hear that too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why, it's great to see you here today as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
To verify that, so.
And there are other things that go into it too, right? We book our calendar out several months in advance, right? So that's going to be, my understanding of the provision is, if we have something going on, then, the answer is going to be, let's try to find another date. But no, I don't see any reason for us to be uncomfortable. We've no reason to have any sort of lack of trust with anybody in this building, and we're happy to partner.
Sure, all right. I'm going to turn it over, see if any of my colleagues here on the committee have any questions. Alderman Edbug.
I do, thank you. Sure. So of course you're a nonprofit,
Yes.
okay, and because of negotiations and because of the fact you're a nonprofit, we still want East Aurora to get some money from the site. The total that you pay for a year specifically is about $1,400. I'm looking at $1,185 plus 175. Those numbers are correct?
Yes,
So
sir.
about $1,400 a year.
If I look back at Charlie, it's because he's the treasurer.
Okay. So, of course, it is great. You guys, you do great work. I know that.
Thank you.
I've been involved in some of the Tuesday big band events. I've sponsored my high school
Oh,
that
great.
goes there. And I've had discussions with some people at the venue, and I was going back to look for the name. I believe the name was Scott?
Do you have a last name?
No.
The person who books the talent at the venue is named Scott. so
Scott, okay. Okay.
Probably was him, I would guess.
All right, yeah. Yeah, it just says Scott.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So, beside giving our high school people an opportunity, I've had discussions with Scott regarding musicians in Aurora.
Correct.
Okay. And one particular musician that I know very well. And we've talked probably over the last 3 years.
Okay.
And our discussion kind of came down to, in the end, that this musician had only played venues that it was not ticketed,
Right.
or mostly. He does about 70 shows a year.
Right.
So it's not just total side gig once in a blue moon.
Right.
He plays 70 shows, and he has done for a number of years, all over the Chicagoland area. And we tried to get him to what we feel is the mecca for, singer-songwriter type of music, the venue. I mean, I feel would be the pinnacle in our area. So, and kind of mulling this in my mind, I'm looking at your mission statement. I'm looking at the fact that you are a nonprofit and the fact that you have this arrangement with the city. And any music foundation, if they were going to be in a city and working with the city, this is a good arrangement for that building. I mean,
We would
but
agree.
You give a lot to our community. So, we're not going to solve this today, but I would like to continue those discussions. I didn't know about the number of free ticketed, you said once a month, the first,
Yeah, the first Fridays are always free, so I think there's only 1 month out of the year that we don't do First Friday, if I remember correctly.
2,
January
January and July.
and July, right?
Yeah, 4th of July just throws everything off.
Yep.
So 10 a year, okay. So, and I believe, in you saying that is part of your mission, to give local artists that opportunity where they might not have otherwise, or, like I said, the opportunity to play what I feel is, you are on the cutting edge
Right.
of things that happen in that musical realm. So, I wish you continued success. I will be making a phone call or email, and we can have further discussions about this.
Okay.
And I think my colleagues, I'm sure they know musicians who would either like the opportunity to have the discussion, or maybe they're at the level where they could be a ticketed. I have another friend who got in to be a ticketed artist at your location.
Great.
And unfortunately, I was out of town when she was there, but I heard it went fantastic, and I hope she'll be back there again. So continued success in everything you're doing, and I will be voting in approval.
Okay, thank you, Alderman Bug.
Chairman?
Alderman.
Do you see
Farrell.
can you see on your board, or it's not?
I don't see anything, but no, I appreciate you speaking up. Go
It's
ahead.
not,
Go ahead.
these aren't lighting up. To Mr. Bug's point, do you have openers for some of these bands?
Occasionally we do, yes.
That might be a good way to get some of these bands some experience
I wouldn't disagree.
as an opener.
Yep.
My question has to do with the original reason for you guys coming early was because you're doing some work with the bathrooms. Can you speak to the improvements and how that's being paid for? Are you is it
Yeah,
volunteer labor, or how's that going?
Absolutely. So it's, as Dr. Caputo says, it's a number of different financial revenue streams coming in to do that, right? We have not secured all of them yet. However, we're working towards that. So we want to expand our bathrooms facilities, because right now our capacity is tied to the number of bathrooms that we have. And our plan is to take our current men's room will stay as it is. The ladies' room will be converted to an all-gender facility, and then we intend to take a space that's not currently being used in the building and creating a ladies' room, 4 stalls. Yeah. Right now, it's looking like it's about a $55,000 project. We've secured about $31,000 from Kane County, the Grand Victoria Riverboat Foundation. And we are seeking some grant funds from some other opportunities that are showing some potential, and then volunteer labor, and then just grassroots community donations to kind of see the project through. Although if the city of Aurora wants to chip in, we would gladly accept.
We've been very generous too, I think, through COVID.
Yeah.
I'm an individual, I think, that made the motion to reduce your rent for a year, at least temporarily, while everybody was shut down.
That would be prior to my arrival, but thank you very much.
Right. I'm sorry, Alderman Barrero, any?
No, that was my question.
Okay,
but
I'm sorry, I didn't
thank you,
mean to interject yet.
Did I answer that for you?
Yes, thank you.
But what I'm getting at too, if I can do we have to be concerned about the definition for event by the city and what it means when we lease it out? Not just for today, but moving into the future? Because we didn't have that when we used it last, I think when the previous administration utilized the space. I don't think we had this type of language in any type of contract either. And how do we define what an event is?
Well, I think it'd probably be I don't know if anybody else wants to comment, kind of a common sense sort of thing, and we're deferring to what is already on the calendar for the venue. So if something else is available, we wouldn't, if it's available, great. If it's not, we wouldn't try to hold anything
Right, but this
there.
is just for city administrative staff to make to utilize the space for administrative
Well, I don't
decision
think-
package, not for aldermanic one.
Well, I'm not sure that we really could foresee into the future what those uses possibly could be. Counselor, you want
I mean, I think we've had this conversation too. I just want to get on the record.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We had talked about it. So the paragraph 5 of the.
Could you please state your name? Please,
Oh,
real
I'm
quick?
sorry. Yordana Wysocki, Corporation Counsel. Hello again. So paragraph 5 of the extension is deliberately pretty vague. It provides kind of an outline for a working relationship going forward, and that is mainly because we don't have specific events in mind. It's not like the city has like, oh, we're going to do this film showing or something. And so we wanted to make sure that both sides were comfortable with, that the venues board was comfortable with the ability to have some discretion and have the ability to veto things that were not consistent with its mission and that they were perhaps uncomfortable with supporting, but also allow us the opportunity to engage in discussions with them on how, if the city wanted to host something like a film showing or something like that, that we would have the opportunity to engage in those discussions. It's deliberately vague so that we can kind of fill out those details as the need arises or as the desire arises. If it's never used, so be it. But if it is something that the city wants to go forward with, the framework, for opening discussions is present.
So what would be the estimated cost to rent out the space? Because I believe we'd be utilizing your staff, right? So what would be your cost that we'd have to reimburse them for?
So the way that it's written is
Ballpark.
that we are responsible for those costs. So whether we're responsible for any costs incurred above the normal cost of running the place when we use the space. So whether or not if the venue is comfortable with us using their staff and paying for that time, that is fine. If we're going to bring in our people, then I think that will be something that we need to work out on an individual basis based on what size of the event we're doing. and
Honestly,
what-
Ms. Jordan, I don't understand what the costs are. I don't know if they're the cost level of ACCA. I mean, is it a $15,000 fee potentially ballpark? Are we talking more like
I would love to have-
a $2,000 to $5,000 ballpark?
That's more your ballpark, but I'm gonna
Right?
can I let
Where's the
Charlie address
finance
that?
committee? Everything's about numbers,
Yeah.
right?
Hi, my name's Charlie Mayton. I'm the treasurer of the Fox Valley Music Foundation. So our operating cost for an event, like something like that, is around $500.
Okay, all right, enough
It's
said, okay.
it's very low.
All right,
Yeah.
okay, all right. All right, I appreciate that clarification too, so.
Any other questions for legal?
From my end, no, but I will say that when I first came on this finance committee about 13 years ago, it was very typical to have someone knowledgeable from staff on the resolution, and also if there was a third party involved in the resolution, that they would be present. I think it'd be a good policy moving forward that we have that here. We have gotten into to somewhat of a situation where we will get the information later, which defeats the purpose of working and ironing things out here at a base committee, trying to work it out at a COW or a city council, potentially a city council level. So I appreciate you coming and showing up, entertaining us with your presence, and also providing us your information too. So, but also, I really have a personal question as well. Alderman Bug was on the finance committee along with me when, about 8 years ago, when the venue was being proposed. And I believe, and I appreciate you stating that your 3 Ps in terms of your purpose. One of the purposes that was expressed to us was about raising money and potentially in a long term purchasing and bringing back some of those original recordings that happened at Leland Tower. That was one of the most exciting things that I heard when it was presented to us. And I'm just curious, is that still on the agenda there for the board? And is it realistic that it may happen in the near future?
So the current setup right now and the way that we've been moving forward is we have done some work on the Leland Tower recordings and released a Made in Aurora type of album that supported it. Currently right now, since COVID, we have basically just been trying to survive, and that's been backburnered.
Okay, but it hasn't died, though,
No,
right?
it has
It's still
not.
on the
No,
shelf.
it
Okay,
is
so it's just on the
it is-
shelf.
It's
It
still
just
on the
hasn't-
shelf. It's one of those programs that we want to get funding behind and get initiative behind it and get it moving again.
That'd be real exciting, and if we could start doing that, if you could start doing that, I should say, for our city, and continue with this climate of being an entertainment district here in downtown, and keep growing that in different ways. So,
When you were talking, Alderman Bug, about the singer-songwriter, I was sitting on my hands over there because that's one of the programs also that we want to bring back and get fire going under it again, to bring people out that are starting out or aren't, the top successful singer-songwriters, and give them a space to grow. So that's something that we're working on as well. Yeah.
I will tell you something about your non-for-profit opportunity and bringing kids here to play on Tuesday nights. And I ran into 2 kids with a guardian coming in to city council before city council meeting, and had a nice conversation from the parking lot across the street over to here to the mall. And I don't think they knew who I was, but they said, "You know what? We're from." I asked them where they're from. I said, "We're from Naperville." I said, "Oh, it's fantastic." And they're like, "Yeah, we like coming here. It's a nice little quaint downtown, nice old buildings, and you have parking." So, there's a little plug there, for people interested in coming over here to see you too, and hang out.
Yeah.
So, if there aren't any further questions, Alderman Franco.
So I don't see it in here, but I thought I saw it somewhere that what you lost the last couple of years?
Yes.
You came in losses, but each year seems to be trending better.
Yes, since our best year was actually the year we opened in 2019.
Okay.
And they made a small amount of revenue that year, like $20K. And every year since then, there has been a range of between 20 to 70,000 in losses. But in the last 2 years, it's trended down, and we expect this year to break even and maintain that as we move forward. So we've been very focused on getting our budget in line and going out and seeking additional funds through sponsorships, through donations, and through grant processes.
So why do you, I can understand when for anybody first opens is gonna be good. Why do you think that there was losses along those times? I'm assuming COVID was part of it. So is this just a recovery from COVID?
Yes.
Because, we'd like to think, someday you're either breaking even or making money, because we don't want the day to come where, City of Aurora, we need more money because so I just want to make sure there's a plan and a trend going forward. Like, we think this is what happened, and because of this, we figure in the future we're going to be better off, the whole thing.
Yeah, so when they first opened, and I've been involved with the venue and the Fox Valley Music Foundation since 2019, but I started out standing at the door and letting people in and telling them all about the building and being an old Woolworth. And since then, I moved into different roles in the organization, and they had a much larger staff when COVID hit. And what has happened is they've maintained that staff, and that built up debt. They have since trimmed down. We only have 2 full-time employees, and we have 6 part-time employees. That's a huge change from where we were. We had like 8 full-time employees and 7 part-time. So that helps us a lot, keeping the costs down, focusing on the budget. And from the operation side of the venue, its entire purpose is just to maintain. It's not to fund the missions. Missions have to come from our philanthropy. And that's something that the past couple of years, the board has been more focused on just maintaining as opposed to growing that. And now this year, because we can see that we've budgeted to break even, we're going to have the ability to start growing our missions again.
All right, thank you. I just want to get a little historical perspective on
Sure.
where we're going, because it's important, because we don't want to put you in a bind. So, you know what, we just paid $55,000 for a bathroom, and we need more money, that type of thing.
Right,
So so
right.
it's good that you laid that out, because it really makes a difference for us going forward.
Can I just supplement what Charlie said?
Just come up to the microphone, please.
Need me to state my name again, or are we good?
No, it's okay, we're good.
I just didn't want to miss an opportunity to talk too about how we've transitioned from paid staff to a very large volunteer staff, right? So we have, on any given night, any person that you interact with when you come through the doors, whether it be the person that greets you checking IDs, the box office, the bartenders, those are all volunteers that come here and do it for no other reason than their love of music and the love of this community. So just wanted to mention that.
Thank you.
Yeah, any other questions? Nope. Okay.
Yeah,
Alderman Bug.
I'll make a shameless plug for you.
Ah,
If any of my colleagues, in the vein of a little bit what Alderman Franco was talking about, so the Pete Elman Band, and that is fantastic. They bring high school bands from all over Chicagoland, not just the western suburbs, all over. They come from the city, they come from the other
far
northern
north,
suburbs.
Mundelein.
Yeah, southern suburbs. So if any, my colleagues, not only this panel, but COW and council, want to help sponsor their West Aurora, East Aurora, Batavia, Caneland, any other bands, it is, the sponsorship isn't really all that much, but then after you sponsor, then when the parents pay to get in the door, that's all gravy for them. So it's a minimal sponsorship, and I believe it helps them out a lot on that night, and it's a great way to push them forward. So.
All right, thank you for that as well. And one thing I know we talked about a little bit with staff, it's not a finance committee issue, potentially a RAP committee resolution or discussion. Not too long ago, I was approached by another non-for-profit and interested in our approach and how we move forward with leasing properties to non-for-profits. So we don't have to get into a detailed approach on it, but I know the venues is a little bit more of a special type of situation, an existing relationship. We're trying to help them get off their feet as well. It sounds like they're making progress since COVID also, but having some kind of a threshold down the road or a resolution in regards to how we move forward as a policy for the city.
We're in the process right now of writing writing a whole range of policies for the city. lease administration is one of them, so we'll
Okay.
be looking at it.
Yeah, fantastic. It's great to hear, Dr. Caputo. So if there are no other further questions on this resolution, do we have a motion one way or the
Motion to
other?
approve?
Second.
Motion approved by Alderman Franco, second by Alderman Dan Barrero. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed 5-0. Thank you one and all wholeheartedly. Clerk, we have one more item on the held agenda.
26-0088, an ordinance amending the Ward 1 budget for fiscal year 2026.
Okay, my understanding from the clerk before the meeting started was there was not enough, there weren't enough members of this committee to pass this resolution, and there were only 3 members present. It requires a minimum of 3 votes. And I believe, Mr. Dan Barrero, this affects you, so you can't vote, so therefore it automatically had to be held. So if there are no further questions, I think Alderman Barrero is going to recuse himself. Do I have a motion for the rest of the committee?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Franco to approve.
Yes.
Yes, and a second by Alderman Keith Larson. Could you please take a roll, clerk?
Alderman at-large Keith Larson.
Yes.
Alderman Dan Barrero.
Abstain?
Alderman Edward J. Bug.
Yes.
Vice Chair Carl Franco.
Yes.
Chairman Masiacos.
Yes.
4 yes, 1 abstain.
All right, and that passes. I believe that concludes our main agenda. There is no need for a closed session.
Motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn by
Second.
Alderman Franco, second by Alderman Dan Barrero. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes at 3:37 to adjourn. Thank you, one and all.